welcome back to the Crafty Pie YouTube channel. I'm so pleased that you come to join me today. Today's video is actually thanks to a subscriber suggestion. On my last video, one of my subscribers said they'd love to see everything that I've sewn recently, so I thought why not go to my wardrobe, round up everything that I've sewn this summer, and we can chat about it. Now, I'm not joking when I say I have sewn a lot these past few months. I don't think this is even all of it because some of it's like in the wash and stuff like that, but I grabbed what I could. I'm just going to talk about things I've sewn for myself. Obviously I've done a bit for baby boy and gifts for other people, but I think we would be here all day. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So I have changed angle for this video, and that is purely because the corner of my room is getting more and more chaotic as the weeks go on. If you've not seen, I've recently launched my own little shop with some custom orders and fabrics, and it's just all piled in that corner of my room. So we're gonna have this background today. I actually quite like it. There's still an annoying box, but I have nowhere to put it, so we're gonna ignore that. Now, these are in a rough order of how I sewed them, but I think, you know, there's a bit of mix up, but we're just gonna go through them as I have them here. So you will know a few months ago, I really decided to focus on my casual wardrobe, and going through all of these pieces, it makes me so happy to see how many of them I wear literally on a weekly basis. So I've definitely succeeded in that, in making my casual wardrobe. So the first thing I've got here to show you is this little top. I made this out of a embroidered cotton, if I show you close up, from Sew Me Sunshine. This was actually gifted to me from Sew Me Sunshine. And the pattern is the Homer and Howell's Ingrid dress. So I actually wore one of those on the sewing bee. It was the first time that I've made that dress. I'll pop a picture here if I can find it. And I just love the pattern. Somehow I had never sewn up another one, which is surprising to me. So I decided to hack it into a sort of cropped blouse. So I just hacked the top to be cropped by using the shorter of the two bodice pieces, and then a really simple ruffle at the bottom. I was really lucky because the fabric had a nice white panel either side of the embroidery, and I think it just really finishes the top off. One of my favourite features about this actually is, I'm not sure if you can see it because the pattern is quite busy, but just this really simple pleat detail in the middle. It's just really effective. There's no darts in this blouse, so it just adds a little bit of room for the bust, but also is a really nice detail. The sleeves are a puff but quite small, so they're really good for every day, and then it just does up with a keyhole button back. So I loved wearing this when we had a bit of nicer weather here in the UK with denim shorts, like high-waisted denim shorts. This looks really, really nice. When we went to Centre Parks, I wore this, and it's just nice and lightweight. Next up, we have some trousers. Now, I don't actually sew a lot of trousers, but when I do, I tend to go for like a wide leg, loose fit. So I've not actually shown these too much on my Instagram, but these are actually the Anna Allen Pomona pants, and they are the wide leg version. So if I show you the fabric close up, this stunning jersey was from my local market. I do find it hard to shop fabric shops in real life. There's not too many around me. Leicester Market sadly only has like one fabric stall now, and I mean, gosh, that used to be known for selling fabrics, and Nottingham Market's exactly the same. So I'm kind of limited, but I do still like to nip by, you know, if I'm there shopping. And they actually had this jersey as a remnant on Stuart's Fabrics stall. So I ended up getting just over 1 metre for £5. And you know, jerseys can usually be a bit more expensive. So it has a really nice wide rib detail, and I decided to make it into some trousers. So it's a really nice drapey trouser. You do have the option to go for a more tapered leg or the wide leg, but I just think wide leg looks quite flattering on me. And they do sit sort of high up on the waist, so these are great. The only thing is, I made these a couple of months ago, and the waistband is slightly tight on me. Like, I can wear them, but it's just a bit uncomfortable. And if you're anything like me, I have to have stuff that feels comfortable to wear. So I do think I need to go ahead and swap out the elastic in these. But yeah, I do love them, and they're just really easy to throw on with me-made tops. Next, I have this blouse. I think this has to be one of my favourite makes and also one of my most worn makes this summer. This again is an Anna Allen pattern, and it's the Anthea blouse. Now, I was totally inspired by Josie from Fabric Godmother on this. If you're not following Josie, she is the owner of Fabric Godmother, which is a fabric shop, and she just makes the most elegant clothes. She has such a chic style, and I'm always inspired when I see her wearing things. So I saw her wear this exact blouse, I'm pretty sure. So it is the Anna Allen Anthea blouse, and this fabric is actually a Fabric Godmother exclusive fabric as well. It is the Linea print, so it is black with all these colourful flowers on, and it's such a happy fabric. This is a cotton, but I'm pretty sure they have other blends as well. And then I also had, if I show you super close in, these buttons. They are Pigeon Wishes Paige Joanna buttons, little yellow flowers, and I just thought it was the most perfect combination. So I made this, I'm pretty sure it was an extra small or whatever the smallest size is that Anna Allen does. I'd never made it before. It fits absolutely perfectly. I didn't even have to do anything to the length. And I really need to make more of these. It wasn't a difficult make at all, and this is definitely one that I wear weekly, so I need more. Next up is another summer favourite. It is this dress, and it is the Marnie blouse, but as a dress from Tilly and the Button. This is Tilly's like second latest release. She's come out with a co-ord since this, but it is her latest dress, and I love it. I think this was the style that I was really missing in my wardrobe, more of a throw-on, really easy to wear dress. So it has a shirred waistband, and then it's all elasticated round the top of the sleeve, and then it has an elasticated front with a tie. This was again a really simple make. Shirring can take quite a while, so it was nice that you only had to shirr this waistband and then also a bit at the sleeves. It's looking a little bit crushed because it has actually just been washed and I need to iron it. But I was rushing to do this video. You guys know that I am a sucker for fruit print, like anything, lemons, oranges. This one's strawberries, and this one is also from Fabric Godmother. I think they just have the most gorgeous designs, and they're all their own designs, which is so cool. But this is on a cream background with the strawberries. It gives me super vintage vibes, and I did actually wear this. I took it on holiday, but I wore it to travel in, and it was so comfortable. So the linen just makes it really easy and, you know, summery to wear. And again, I could do with another one of these. Wouldn't it be great if we had endless hours to sew? Although I do think I'd have wardrobe issues because I'm already running out of room. Next, we have this set that I made for holiday. Now, I will say this is probably, out of everything that I made, something that hasn't got as much wear as it probably should have. I do think it's down to the weather. If you're not from the UK, we've been having the most awful summer. I think for the past month, it's pretty much rained every other day. So it's not really been, you know, summer clothes weather. But I made this matching set, and I'm sad that I've not got to wear this much because it is in such a precious Liberty fabric. So Liberty actually let me choose a few pieces from their summer collection. I had only ever sewn with their cotton lawn before, so obviously I wanted to try some of their crepe de chines and their silks. The quality is stunning, and the prints were just really, really different this summer, so I was really excited to sew this up. So for the trouser, this is actually from the Friday Pattern Company's Safia set. So this is the Safia trouser. It is very, very similar to the Pomona pants that I sewed up, except it's got built-in pockets, which I really like. So the pockets are there, so it's actually a pocket facing that you sew to the front. So I prefer this kind of pocket to a side seam one because I think these just sit a lot better. But it's a wide leg, much like the Pomona pants. And this fabric's so gorgeous and lightweight, so it's got suns all over it. The colours are stunning. So I went for that trouser, and then this is the top that I made. So it's a little bustier top, but the back is shirred, so it's really easy to wear. It didn't, you know, require a lot of fitting, and it does have ruching over the bust. Now, I can't remember the exact pattern like code, I will put it all in the description box, but it is one of the Simplicity Nomi patterns, and it was Alyssa Threads that designed it. I love Alyssa and all her makes. If you're not familiar with Nomi Patterns, it's a new sort of side brand of Simplicity, and they're getting actual creatives and sewers within the sewing community to design their own patterns, and then they're making and printing them, which is really, really cool. And it means that they're coming out with a lot more like current and really on-trend patterns. Now, I will say that this pattern probably isn't what I was hoping it would be. I find the bust a little bit unflattering on me. I don't know if you can see, but there's actually a lot of excess fabric. I think that's designed so that, you know, you have a lot of gathers over the bust, but there is a lining behind it, and that's a lot tighter fitting. I almost wish the outer piece was the same, because I find that it just makes the bust look a bit bigger than maybe I would want it to. I don't so much have the issue now, but I made this when I was still breastfeeding, and I mean, if you've been a breastfeeding mum, you know that your boobs are just huge anyways. So I didn't really need anything to like accentuate that. Now I would probably be kind of grateful for that, but yeah, the fit wasn't exactly what I wanted, so I think I'll probably wear the trousers more on their own than as a set. The next dress I have is kind of hard to show, but it is another Liberty Fabrics, and I think this is my favourite one that I picked out of the collection. So this is, again, a silk crepe de chine, and it is the most rich purple with a snake print all over it. This gives me massively Gucci vibes with the red and green, but I have ordered purple fabrics in the past. If you follow me on Instagram, you might remember the velvet two-piece gate this Christmas when I tried to make a purple velvet two-piece. It looked horrendous, and I looked like a giant aubergine. When I ordered that fabric for the velvet two-piece, I was hoping it was gonna be as rich as this. It wasn't, and I feel like you'll get me when I say some purples are just too purple. This has kind of a rich pinky undertone to it. I think this kind of purple is so flattering on my skin tone, and this fabric is so lightweight. So this is actually the Vicky Sews Celine dress. I've not worn a Vicky Sews pattern in a really long time. She does come out with really modern designs, and I love that. But this one, it's hard to show because the shape of it comes completely from these channels. So when you're not wearing it, it just kind of looks like a big sack. So I will put a photo here so you can see what it's supposed to look like. But it is a nice low V in the middle, and then it's very strappy on the back, which I love, and it is just such a flattering shape. I think this would look amazing on so many different body types because it just falls against the body. And I actually have an Italian summer wedding next summer, and I honestly feel like this would be the perfect dress for that. Now, if you know me, you know that once I find a pattern that I love, I'm at least gonna make two, if not more, and this dress is the perfect example of that. So both these dresses are a Mimi G Simplicity pattern. I will put the exact pattern down below with everything else that I've discussed. But the first one that I went ahead and made was this maxi dress for my holiday in this Hazel Sister cotton fabric. Now, this was designed by Georgie herself. She drew all these flowers, and I love all the pastel colours. And when I saw it, I just thought that needs to be an amazing maxi dress. So I went ahead and made this Simplicity pattern. It's a really nice, really sort of baby doll bust. So you can see it's a really narrow bust. And then the back has, it's hard to see in the black, but it has an elasticated low back, and then it ties up in a bow. Again, I'll pop a picture here so you can see it a bit better on. Now for this one, I made it when, again, I was breastfeeding, so my bust measurement was a bit bigger, and I found that it was gaping a bit on the top. So To solve that, I actually just did some pleats here in the front and it made it sit so nice. And I just love that detail. I would do that again. And it's super long, like this is proper floor length. And I went for a tier at the bottom as well. So that is dress number 1. Then more recently, I went ahead and made a yellow Broderie anglaise version. So this is the Broderie fabric. It is such a rich, sunshiny yellow. I did have to line it, obviously, because Broderie anglaise has holes in it. So I went for a white lining, which I think really makes the details of the Broderie pop. I think if it was yellow underneath, you might not notice all those patterns so much. So you can see that I didn't do the pleating on the front of this like the other one, I just kept it flat, and this one sits really nicely, so I'm guessing it's because my bust measurement's a bit smaller now. But again, it's got the scooped back. On this one I did reduce the scooped back slightly. And actually, I completely forgot to mention that this tie back, I actually hacked it. I don't think it does that on the pattern, it's supposed to be a button-up back. But I do have that tutorial on my YouTube, so if you did fancy having a go at this and having the tie back as well, then you'd be able to see that. This one I went for a midi length, so no tier, it's just a simple gathered skirt, and again, this is so comfortable to wear but looks really, really elegant. Another dress pattern that I couldn't resist making twice is the swim style patterns Therese dress. So this is definitely very different to my usual sewing style and was a bit outside of my comfort zone, but I'm so glad I went for it. So first of all, it's in stretch fabric, which unless I'm doing t-shirts, I generally don't sew stretch that much. But the Therese dress is a off the shoulder asymmetric bodice, and then it has a big cutout at the waist. So this will definitely be easier to see in the picture again. But this fabric came from the Rainbow Fabrics remnant sales. So if I hold it up as one layer, you can see that it is sheer and it has lots of perforations in it. It's white on the other side. So it's kind of like a really fancy mesh, and I just thought this would make such a chic bikini cover up. I can confirm it does because I wore it over a really simple white bikini on holiday, and I'm not gonna lie, I felt kind of good. So I feel like sometimes it's hard to feel really nice in swimwear. I think that's probably an issue a lot of us have. But this just made me feel amazing, and I went down to like breakfast and lunch in this. Still really cool, but yeah, I absolutely love it. So I made that for daytime on holiday. And then this was another amazing Leicester Market find. But when I saw this metallic stretch fabric, I knew I had to make another one. So it's not silver and it's not gold. It's kind of a champagne-y colour, and it has a really, really nice sort of like shirred effect to it, but it's not, it's just the way the fabric is. And I thought this would make an incredible nighttime dress. So again, it's got the off the shoulder, and I did reduce the cutout on the waist a little bit for this one, just because, you know, it's not a cover up, it's to be made at night. Now I will say, and when I posted this on Instagram, I wrote it in the description of it, but I have to be having a really confident day to wear this because one, it's skin tight, and I mean, things are not as in place as they should be since I've had a baby. So there's that, and also it's kind of difficult to wear a bra, so there's a little bit of like boobage, free the nipple situation, so it has to be in the right setting, you know? But I love the dress overall. I think it's stunning, and yeah, I'm so glad I made it. I'm not sure how much wear it's gonna get though. I think it's definitely just a holiday piece. Something we've not spoken about yet is outerwear, and I do really enjoy making outerwear, but I think it's something that I neglect slightly. However, this jacket I'm obsessed with. So this is the Nutmeg Trench by Coco Wawa Patterns. So it is designed to be a trench coat. However, I've seen quite a few cropped jacket versions on Instagram, and as soon as I saw them, I fell in love. Pigeon Wishes made a version in one of her twill fabrics. It looked incredible. I've seen a few other denim versions, so I wanted to make my own. This denim is a nice heavyweight denim from Merchant & Mills. It was my first time purchasing from Merchant & Mills, but sometimes I find it hard to find high quality denims that are heavy enough. I did purchase a denim from Minerva prior to this, and it was only 7 ounces, I want to say. It was not heavy enough at all. That's more like, you know, blouse dress weight, and I've used it for something else that I will show you. But I went ahead and got this one. It's the perfect weight for a jacket. It's not too heavy. You could definitely still make jeans in this, but yeah, it's still light enough for a jacket. So the jacket has these sort of balloon sleeves. I went for a 3/4 length sleeve, which is really flattering. And one of my favourite bits is the ruffle collar. I'm a sucker for a ruffle collar. It's so pretty. And the buttons I went for, again, are Pigeon Wishes. And they're kind of like a marbled effect. So they've got the same colour, denim-y blue, but then they've got yellow and pink as well. It's just a match made in heaven. I will say in general, if I'm gonna buy buttons, I go for Pigeon Wishes because one, the quality is amazing and she just has really unique designs. So I'm so glad I went ahead and made this jacket, and I can actually imagine making another cropped version but in proper trench fabric for autumn. I think that would look so cool. We're almost there, guys, so if you're still listening, I love you, and you clearly are as obsessed with sewing as I am. So the next thing we have to discuss is a self-drafted dress. And I have to say, again, this is one of my most worn since I have made this. So it is a really, really simple, like wide dress. The top of it is all gathered in with elastic. It's the same on the back, just slightly narrower, and then the sleeves are just simple tie straps. This fabric is from Sew Me Sunshine. I believe they've just recently restocked it, so you might be able to get some, but it's a rust seersucker. So it's actually got some tiny little white gingham bits in it, which is super cute. And I love the colour. I don't wear rust often, but yeah, I'm really into it. This was based on a dress that I got from H&M probably about 5 to 6 years ago now, and it's basically like a house nightie that I wear all the time. Like, it's one of those things that you can, you know, answer the door to the postman and still look acceptable, but it also feels like you're in pajamas, that kind of vibe. So I wanted to basically make the same thing again, so I wasn't wearing the same one all the time. And this was it. It's basically made from rectangles minus the, you know, the armhole. It's really simple. I managed to trace the pattern from the dress, but I have had loads of requests for this as a tutorial, so I am definitely going to try and get round to showing you how you could self-draft this at home, because it is super simple. I really hope I don't watch this video back and think I'm talking at a million miles an hour, because I've just stopped and I'm slightly out of breath. Seriously, why is talking about sewing my cardio? That is embarrassing. Okay, next piece is another outerwear piece, and I think this has to be one of my faves. You guys went mad for this on Instagram, and I'm not surprised. So this is the new Craft House Everyday Waistcoat pattern. This was a new pattern to me. I had seen a few people make this. Paige Joanna made an amazing Barbie-inspired version, but I was actually gifted a like patchwork cot quilt kit. That is always such a mouthful. A cot quilt kit from Alice Caroline Fabrics. They specialise in Liberty, so obviously the kit is all Liberty fabrics, and I just thought, baby boy doesn't need another quilt, I need a jacket. So I made up the pieces sort of as smaller pieces that I could cut the pattern pieces from, and I tried to kind of keep it in a rainbow effect. So we've got red at the top and then it goes through all the colours. The front pieces are actually mirrored, which I really like because they're nice and symmetrical. And then the inside is in this lightweight denim fabric. This was the denim that I originally bought for my nutmeg jacket, but it was too lightweight. It was perfect for this. I did intend for this to be reversible, but I got a bit lazy and I didn't hand stitch the binding, so it's not that neat on the other side. Like if I show you, the stitching, see, it's like more out there than it is there. So I don't think I would realistically wear it the other way around, just because if you look closely, it's not that neat. So I really should have put the time into hand sewing it. But if you're, you know, a mum to a young child as well, you'll feel my pain. Hand stitching, I have no time for right now. I wish I did, I don't. So yeah, I just have to wear it this way, but I love it and I wear it this way all the time anyways. And aside from the patchwork, this was a really, really quick sew. So if you did want to do it just as a solid fabric or maybe quilt it with some vertical lines, it really wouldn't take long at all. Something I've really enjoyed this summer is definitely self-drafting things. It's nice to not have to always rely on getting a pattern printed. So the next thing I have is another self-drafted piece. I'm just tying the bow so it looks nice. And it is this skirt. So this was so simple to make. Again, it's just rectangles because that is my favourite thing to do. And it's got a nice elasticated waistband. This is just a faux tie on the front. And what I really like about this is where the tiers are. So the first tier is super short and it just falls just below the hip. And then the bottom tier is really long. I find this super flattering. Kind of has like a bit of a vintage silhouette to it, and this is just a really, really easy thing to throw on with like a little cropped vest or a cardigan. A crochet cardigan is one of my favourite things to wear with this. The fabric is a green viscose from Rainbow Fabrics. I had this in my stash for a while, but I love the colourful flowers. Green is definitely something that I don't wear that much, so it was nice to kind of play around with a different colour combination. And again, I actually have the tutorial for this on my YouTube already, so if you fancy having a go, you can go watch that. Last but not least, we have the most recent make that I've just posted on my Instagram, and it is my first ever sagebrush top, but as a dress. I wanted to hack this pattern into a dress. I have seen so many versions of the sagebrush top. It is by Friday Pattern Company. It's a super popular pattern and I already had it printed and in my stash ready to go, and it's been sat there for months. Things have always taken priority over it. I don't know why. I think it's because it's a very easy wearable style and maybe not as exciting as some other patterns. But I wish I'd sewn it sooner because I already want to make a top version. So this is the dress a bit closer up. You can see it has a gorgeous frill all the way along the front. You know my feeling about frills. I love them and this is so flattering. And the sleeves are just the perfect level of puff. Surprisingly, quite a large puff. And I know from Paige, who runs the Friday Pattern Company's socials, that they also have a tutorial on how to depuff the puff if it's too puffy. I can never imagine wanting to depuff a puff. It's not in my nature. But if that is you, you have that option. And I hacked this into a dress. It was so easy. All I did was extend the length of the front and back panels. And just to make sure I had enough ease over my hips, where it says cut on the fold, I actually placed the pattern piece maybe like 1.5 inches away from the fold, and that just gave me a bit more room to gather, and it made sure that when it goes over the hips it's not too tight, and that was the perfect amount. But if you maybe have a bigger difference between your bust and hip measurement, you might need to add in like a bit more than that 1.5 inches depending. But yeah, I love the fact that it doesn't have any fastenings. It just has a bias binding tie at the neckline. It's the first time I've ever done that and it was so easy. I didn't film this one because I actually sewed along with the Friday Pattern Company sew along on their YouTube. It's fantastic and the owner Chelsea takes you through making this from start to finish. It was a really, really easy watch. and it only took me about an hour and a half to sew this, which is incredible. And I almost forgot the most important part, but this is actually one of the fabrics that I'm stocking in the Crafty Pie shop, which is so exciting. So it is a chambray denim, but it has little white embroidered flowers all over it. And it's a really nice sort of medium weight. It's got a bit of body to it, so the puff sits so nicely. I'm hoping that there will still be some left by the time this video goes live, but as of now, it's getting kind of low in stock. So I'm sorry if it is not still available, but I will definitely link it down below for you if you fancy getting some yourself. And that is it. I almost forgot, but I am wearing a Me Made as well. So this is one of my latest makes. Stand up so you can see it a bit more, but it is another No Me patterns by Simplicity. Again, I'll put it in the description box below, but again, puff sleeves because it's my favorite. But the difference is this one has a really nice wide waist and pockets. Who doesn't love a pocket? And it's got a really interesting curved hem here, which I love. This is so comfortable. And it is in a rainbow double gauze that is also from my own shop, the Crafty Pie shop. Now this flew off the shelves. We actually sold out the manufacturer. They have no more at all. So I know that they're going to be producing some more, and it's going to be coming to me in September. I know I have loads of people still wanting to buy it in September. So definitely, if you're not following my Instagram for the Crafty Pie shop, make sure you follow in there, and then you'll get any updates as to when I get some more in stock. Wow, that was a lot of talking from me. Usually you get some sewing time in between, but today it was all just chat. I need a cup of tea and a biscuit now. I don't know about you, but I would absolutely love to add up all the hours I spent sewing all those garments and know how many days worth it is. I think it would be quite a lot. I think the fact that there's only 1 or 2 pieces in that pile that doesn't get worn on a weekly basis really says that I'm getting better at honing in on what I need in my wardrobe. And I'm so pleased that I'm making things that I feel like I want to wear all the time. I really hope that gave you some inspiration for your own summer sewing. I have my fingers crossed that September is basically the summer that we've been wanting. So there's all of the excuses needed to keep on summer sewing and get some pretty dresses in the works. As I mentioned, I will pop all the details down below. If I can still find the fabrics, I'll tag them for you with a link. If a link isn't there, it means that I can't get it anymore. But everything will be in that description box. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you this time next week for a brand new video. Bye!